You didn't file a claim. You didn't crash your car. You didn't flood your house. You didn't go to the hospital. And yet, your insurance premium went up. Again. And not by a little. Sometimes 15%. 25%. Even 40%. So what exactly are you paying for? Because if insurance is supposed to be based on your risk and your behavior, then this doesn't make sense. Unless the system isn't actually built the way you think it is. Because the uncomfortable truth is this: you're not paying for what you did. You're paying for what the system predicts you might become. And once you understand how that system actually works, how risk is priced, how losses are shifted, and how decisions are made behind the scenes, you start to realize something else. Your premium going up, even when nothing happened, isn't a mistake. It's the system working exactly as designed. Most people think insurance is simple. You pay a company every month. If something bad happens, they cover the cost. If nothing happens, your price should stay the same, or maybe even go down. That feels fair. But that's not how insurance actually works. Insurance isn't priced based on you. It's priced based on a pool. And that pool is constantly changing. When you buy insurance, you're not entering a personal contract based purely on your behavior. You're entering a shared financial system where risk is spread across thousands or millions of people. And the price you pay is based on what's happening across that entire system, not just your individual life. So even if you did everything right, if the pool gets riskier, you pay more. Let's start with the first hidden mechanism, the risk pool shift. Imagine you're in a group of 10,000 drivers. Insurance companies analyze that group constantly. How many accidents happened this year? How expensive were the repairs? How many lawsuits were filed? How much did medical care cost? If those numbers go up, the entire pool becomes more expensive. And that cost doesn't just hit the people who caused the accidents. It gets redistributed across everyone, including you. So even if you're a perfect driver, if more people in your area are texting and driving, if repair costs are rising because cars are more complex, if lawsuits are getting bigger payouts, your premium goes up. Because you're part of the same pool. Now layer on something even more powerful, geography. Insurance companies don't just look at individuals. They look at patterns. Your zip code matters. Your city matters. Sometimes even your exact street matters. Because risk isn't just about what you do. It's about where you exist. If your area starts seeing more claims, more thefts, more accidents, more extreme weather, you get reclassified. Not because you change, but because your environment did. And in insurance, environment is risk. Now here's where things get more technical and more revealing. Insurance companies don't just react to the past. They price the future. Everything is forward-looking. They're not asking, what happened last year? They're asking, what is most likely to happen next year, and how much will it cost us? This is where predictive modeling comes in. Massive datasets, historical claims, economic indicators, behavioral proxies. They feed all of this into algorithms designed to answer one question: how risky is this person going forward? And here's the key: that answer can change, even if you don't. For example, let's say your credit score drops slightly. Not because you're irresponsible, maybe you opened a new line of credit, or your utilization shifted. To an insurance algorithm, that can signal increased risk. Statistically, people with certain credit profiles file more claims. So your price goes up. Not because you did anything wrong, but because you moved into a different statistical category. Or maybe, your city starts seeing more accidents at certain intersections. You drive through those areas. The system doesn't need to know how you drive. It just needs to know that people like you, in places like yours, are becoming riskier. So your premium adjusts. Quietly. Automatically. Continuously. Now let's go one layer deeper. Because even all of this isn't the full picture. There's another system operating behind your insurance company. A system most people never think about. But it affects your premium more than almost anything else. It's called reinsurance. And it changes everything. Reinsurance is exactly what it sounds like. Insurance for insurance companies. When an insurer takes on risk, like covering your car, your house, or your health, they don't keep all of that risk themselves. They offload a portion of it to larger financial institutions. Global firms. Massive balance sheets. These reinsurers step in and say, if losses get too big, we'll cover part of it. In exchange, the insurance company pays them. Just like you pay your insurer. So now think about the system. You're paying an insurance company. That insurance company is paying another insurance company. And that second layer, the reinsurance layer, has its own pricing. Its own risk models. Its own view of the world. And in recent years, that layer has become much more expensive. Why? Because the world itself is becoming more volatile. More natural disasters. More expensive claims. More unpredictable outcomes. From hurricanes to wildfires to supply chain issues driving up repair costs, reinsurers are paying out more. So they raise their prices. And when they raise their prices, insurance companies pass that cost down to you. Almost immediately. This is one of the biggest reasons your premium can spike, even if nothing in your personal life changed. Because the cost of back-end risk increased. And you're ultimately the one funding that system. Now combine everything so far. Risk pools getting more expensive. Geographic risk shifting. Predictive models updating constantly. Reinsurance costs rising globally. And all of it feeds into one outcome: your premium goes up. Even when you did nothing. But there's still another layer. One that's more subtle. And more controversial. Insurance pricing isn't just about risk. It's also about optimization. Companies don't just want to cover risk. They want to maximize profitability while staying within regulatory boundaries. So they don't just ask, what is this person's risk? They ask, what can we charge this person without losing them? This is where behavioral economics enters the system. Companies study. How likely are you to shop around? How sensitive are you to price changes? How loyal are you to your current provider? If the data suggests you're unlikely to leave, your price can go up more aggressively. Because the system predicts you'll tolerate it. So now your premium isn't just a reflection of risk. It's a reflection of your behavior as a consumer. Your inertia. Your habits. Your likelihood of taking action. And most people don't take action. They see the increase. They get annoyed. Maybe they complain. But they don't switch. So the system learns. And it adjusts. This creates something that feels deeply unfair. Because it is. Two people with nearly identical risk profiles can end up paying very different prices. Based on how the system perceives their behavior. Now zoom out. Because when you step back and look at all of this together, you start to see what insurance is actually becoming. It's no longer just protection against rare events. It's becoming a dynamic pricing system. A system that continuously evaluates your risk, your environment, your behavior, global conditions, and adjusts your price in real time, or close to it. This is why you're starting to see things like usage-based insurance, apps that track your driving, programs that monitor your habits. Because the more data the system has, the more precisely it can price you. And from a business perspective, this makes perfect sense. More data equals better predictions. Better predictions equals less uncertainty. Less uncertainty equals more profit. But from your perspective, it means something else. It means the idea of fair pricing is disappearing. Because pricing is no longer static. It's fluid. And it's constantly recalibrating around you. So when your premium goes up, even though you didn't file a claim, even though nothing changed in your life, it's not random. It's not an error. It's not even necessarily about you. It's about the system. A system that is pooling risk across millions of people, predicting future losses using massive datasets, shifting costs through global financial layers, and optimizing prices based on behavior. All at the same time. And once you see that clearly, the frustration starts to make more sense. Because you realize, you're not being charged for what you did. You're being charged for what the system believes about the world you're part of. And that belief is always changing. Which means your price will keep changing too. So the next time your insurance premium goes up, don't just ask, "What did I do wrong?" Because that's the wrong question. The better question is, what changed in the system? Because that's where the real answer is. And once you start asking that question, you start to see the pattern everywhere. Not just in insurance, but in pricing systems across the entire economy. Because this isn't just about insurance. It's about how modern systems price risk, behavior, and uncertainty. Quietly, continuously, and almost always, without you realizing how it actually works. And that's the part no one tells you.